The story of the Tower of Babel is essentially an apocalyptic one and occurs at the end of a timeline of 10 antediluvian patriarchs, followed by a great flood sent by God to wipe out Noah's wicked world. In turn, this overall story is symbolically related to the prophetic book of Revelation at the end of the Bible. And both these mythical cycles ultimately derive from the original Sumerian mythology of the descent by a god down a ziggurat at the end of a list of 10 god kings since the first descent of kingship from heaven, symbolizing the end of their great year that ends in a cosmic deluge and restoration of the world. But there are other apocalyptic myths from other ancient civilizations around the world that also derive from the original Sumerian one. For example, the Ragnarok, or War with the Wolf of the Vikings, which predicts a final great battle between the gods and anti-gods at the end of time. The destructive age of Kali Yuga at the end of the 4 Yuga world ages of the Hindu Indians. And finally, the Doomsday Prophecy connected with the culmination of the Mayan long count calendar. In the 20th century, some scholars worked out that all these myths basically refer to the end of an ancient astronomical great year that corresponds to the presently agreed upon astronomical and astrological great or Platonic year of about 26,000 normal years, in which the latter stages we are now in. This great year is based on the precession of the Earth's axis, which takes about 26,000 years to complete a full 360-degree circle. Or it is also based on the precession of the spring equinox through the fixed zodiac constellations, which takes about 26,000 years to complete a full 360-degree cycle in the sky. There is a lot of dispute around the exact end date of the great year, but some people in the 20th century believed that it would happen around the beginning of this century. Now, if I use the deeper mythological lens of an apocalypse or cosmic deluge after the descent of a god down a ziggurat at the end of a great eon or line of 10 kings since the first descent of kingship from heaven, to view the attacks on the Twin Towers of 9/11 and some events shortly after, as opposed to using a purely historical lens, then I interpret them thusly. The World Trade Center Twin Towers were a present representation of the sacred Sumerian ziggurat and was situated in the center of a modern and global priestly city. The planes piloted by the spiritual Muslims that flew into the tops of the towers symbolized the god that descends down the apex of the ziggurat at the end of a great year, thus reuniting the spheres of heaven and earth, God and man, or the spirit and the body, after a long and lifeless separation. The great cosmic flood that washes away the old world and gives birth to the new was symbolized by the awesome and cataclysmic 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami, which killed over 230,000 people in 14 countries. The great war at the end of time between the gods and the anti-gods, which is a symbolic parallel to a great deluge prophesied in many end-time myths, is symbolized by the war between the West and Islam that we are still in. And there is one final symbol that perfectly signifies our times that I see and find very interesting. And that is the now iconic image of the falling man from 9/11. Behind this image is a very old and powerful mythical archetype. For example, the fall towards earth of the Babylonian man Etana from his giant eagle after he flew up to the heavens and failed to reach the highest level of the gods. The fall towards earth of the Greek man Icarus after he flew too close to the sun, causing his false wings to be burnt away. And the last mythical archetype is from the still main myth of the Western world today, and that is the tragic crucifixion of Jesus on the cross, another symbol of the Axis Mundi because of his hubris. So to sum up my point, the falling man of 9/11/2001 was the Promethean anti-god, or old god king, who was sacrificed at the singularity where time, space and civilization as a whole came to an end since its beginning long ago in Sumer.
أشهد أن لا